Welcome back, everybody, to your Monday night college COD coverage. My name is Seymour. With me is Cash. We just got through our first match of the day, and Cash, it was a stomping from Fanshawe over at the Condors. And now we head into our second matchup where we're following off with a Canadian school again. Conestoga Condors hopping onto the CCL stream. We get to see them take on Edinboro Esports. This is going to be a fun one. I'm excited to see both teams play. What do you think about this series?
I'm in another Canadian clash where, again, it's going to be one that these teams, so we talked about in the last series, these teams like we're vying for a top 5 Canadian school squad. You're going to be 4 of them that we get to have a look at, or, you know, at least 3 of them, right? Edinboro being out of America. It's going to be one where these 3 teams can kind of show us, okay, who's got that early advantage. And though it's something we're noting in the back of our mind, between these schools specifically, it's going to be a fun showdown as we dive into that map set, right? It's going to be eerily similar to what we'd seen early on, too.
Yeah, and you know me, I'm going to be biased towards any Canadian school.
Surely. I'll take
general.
the other side of
well,
things.
I will say, and I have to say this one, and if you go to x.com/jray4k, I got to say, you know, Frizzy, man, that has to be like top 5 worst hype songs I've ever seen to get ready for a series. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just a hater here, but it's not the vibes that I like to see before seeing Conestoga jump into a match here on the mainstream. But for Edinboro, I'm sure they're going to be excited for this one. They don't have too much information on them in terms of, you know, what's going on in their camp, but 1-1 after week number 1, just like Fanshawe, Cash. I'm sure they're looking at this one to not only shut down Conestoga team, which a lot of people have high hopes on, but to really put themselves in, I guess, in the limelight here in College COD for 2025.
Yeah, and it's a good match to kind of get themselves right in that position to be on the map and kind of get things going for themselves, especially with, as you said, the conversation surrounding Conestoga going into this year. Again, being week number 2, there's a lot of room to right wrongs from the previous week, continue to build on the foundations that you have, and a lot of these teams are just kind of making baby steps forward, right? And we saw that in the first matchup between our 2 teams. Here we get to see a little bit more of that and the diversity of these teams with the maps we get to look at as well. So between both of these squads, it's just good repetitions to get under your belt at the early part of the season where you kind of have some wiggle room, right, to make some errors and to sort things out.
And we take a look at the series here. We get Protocol, Red Card, Volt, Skyline for the series. We just saw the Protocol hardpoint come out from Fanshawe, and it was absolutely disgusting how clean they were on that map number 1 for Conestoga. Edinboro, I hope it's not going to be a 100-point club either way. I hope this is going to be a contested game, but you look at that Red Card map number 2, and that is a surprising one to sneak through here in CCL. I didn't think too many teams would actually opt in for a Red Card, whether it's Hardpoint or Search and Destroy, Cash.
It is interesting to see it, like you said, in this map set, let alone map 2. We had it for map 5 that, of course, we didn't get to last series, but
yeah,
for it to sneak in early, it's an interesting call from these teams, whether it be that, hey, you know what, we're just not confident on what was left after the vetoes, or maybe one of these squads is going to show us some unorthodox play where we've already got this one kind of fit into our map board. It's in a good spot that we want it to be in early against some of these teams who maybe do shy away from it. So I'm excited to see what either of these teams try to throw at us here in that Search and Destroy. But like you said, Protocol is going to be what we look at first, and anything over 100-point club, hey, we'll take. But again, whoever comes out performs the strongest, really holds that left-hand side of the map is kind of the blanket statement you can make about Protocol. Likely walks away with that map, but a lot of players on the other side of things who, you know, can again make things dicey for the opposition and put themselves in spots to, like you said, keep it competitive throughout the entire game.
And seeing that Red Card map number 2 for Edinboro is their map pick for this series. That's going to be a very, I'd say, important one for them. And same thing with map number 1, because typically this Conestoga team in general is a very strong Search and Destroy team. I mean, across 2 LAN appearances, they're 12-1 in S&D records. So that is something that you look at this Conestoga team and you put, you know, easy math together. You're looking at a Red Card. This is a team that you think is going to be very comfortable with Red Card, have a lot of reps no matter where you go to. I mean, they banned out Hacienda, so you can see that immediately they're getting rid of the newer map in terms of the competitive pool here in Black Ops 6. So they're going back to a very basic map for Search and Destroy that we saw a lot towards the beginning of the 06. And this Conestoga team, they're going to be feeling good going into those map 2s and map 5. So in my opinion, Cash, that would put a lot of emphasis here on map number 1 for Protocol for Edinboro to really show up.
They would like to, again, like you said, come out with a strong performance on the hard point and, yeah, show out on their given pick for map number 2 and really put it to this team early on. I mean, the numbers throughout time and history show a 2-0 advantage definitely bodes far better than a 1-1. It puts you on the doorstep of kind of putting that nail in the coffin. So, of course, both these teams are looking to go for that, and that map 2 is going to be an exciting one. I'm even more so looking forward to that than map number 1, but between these two teams, Protocol is a great one for, again, submachine guns to get loose, where you go top triple, where you go down spiral. Lots of little places you can get in to kind of annoy those ARs, get them out of power positions. For the ARs, it's about dominating mid-map. It's about taking care of the high ground. And we go back and forth here. The slang doesn't get too out of hand, right? We should have a good one between these two teams.
Just kind of understanding protocol too, because we didn't really see much in map number 1 where teams were, locking down those spawns and then trying to punish teams on the rotation, especially for like P3, P2.
Yeah.
On both of those maps, I mean, you have to contest through the middle. And if you don't have a player, top triple, then you usually put someone on the mid gun. If you're playing from, the grandma side of the map, when in that P2 hold, you're definitely going to be having somebody watch from, the back barrels towards the ladder. It's situations where we didn't really see that from the Condor inside of our first series of the day. And, for Edinboro, that's something that I'm going to be looking at them to really contest here in the first series of the day. It's just not the slang on protocol is important for sure, but I think for protocol, more so than other maps that we do have in the hardpoint map pool, it's very important to rotate early on this one for those P3s, P2s, and P4s, because if not, then you're going to be kind of walking into those iron sights, and you do not want to be doing that, especially, considering that even the Jackal rips you off those headies. It's going to be tough to cross if you're either team in those situations, losing out on rotos. So I think that's going to be something that I'm looking at for these teams to really step up in the CCL year.
I can certainly piggyback off of that, right? And at times, I think even in this title, especially with how some of the maps play, rotations can start as early as 30 seconds through a hill. It could be one player starting to make their way forward, work some picks towards the backside of things to secure spawns, but some teams you'll even do kind of like a 30-25-20 method. All right, someone goes at 30, someone goes at 25, someone goes at 20, where you end up giving up your numbers towards the back 20 seconds of time, which, again, a lot of teams opt to play, okay, we're going to send all 4 at 20 seconds if we're on the outside of this hard point and not in a good spot to contest. So many different strategies for how teams want to handle rotations, but for protocol, it does feel like the earlier the better. Now it's the comms and kind of the in-game play of, okay, what are the calls going to be about how this hard point's looking for us? And sometimes when teams find themselves on the back foot, sometimes you do chalk up a chunk of time to get to a setup that you want at a new hill and try to win 40-50 seconds of it. And I'm thinking P3 to P4, as you called, where, hey, you know what, not going our way, we never got spawns, let's just get set up new and kind of do our thing from there. Close out a rotation strong on P4 is what either of these teams are going to be looking to do. So rotations, as you said, are very much everything. The sooner the better, but had to walk that line of how soon is too much time left on the board.
I mean, right now for Edinboro, I think kicking off this series with a map win is exactly what you're looking at. And we saw in our first series of the day, it was a 3-0 sweep. Map number 1 was a 100-point club. The Search and Destroy was close, but I don't expect that to be similar in this series at all. And this is my first look at this Edinboro team, and I'm excited to kind of get to look at them as well. I always like to see new teams in CCL, kind of, at least for myself to learn about, and a kind of a litmus test against this Conestoga team who has been on the rise, who is not only like securing their roster into this year, looking really good with their program kind of building as well on the esports side of things. They have a fantastic coaching staff, support from the top, and you can see that this Conestoga team year on year just keeps on getting better. They have Burden just getting signed this as well, a Halo Pro, who is going to be playing in this team, has been scrimming with this team, and is just waiting for that right opportunity to join them this semester as well to play. So it seems like Conestoga are doing all the right things to just amplify their roster in 2025. And that has me excited to see what this Edinboro team can do against them, because it's your litmus test now to see just where you stand in terms of competition for this division.
A very diverse team on one side of things, top to bottom. And on the other side of things, like you said, a great baseline you can put yourself at against a team who, you continue to say, making noise, starting to kind of get themselves on the map in the CCO. Perfect opportunity for both squads to come out and prove something here in map number 1, let alone this series. And we'll kick things off quickly it's going to be Edinboro with a couple of kills on the board. P1 time being garnered as well. Blitz. They can move around mid-map, not before getting cut down early on.
That's the break-off I like to see, some early time for Edinboro. As you can see, Nab top triple is going to make some of these spawns for Conestoga a little bit weird. They're going to pull towards the back of P3. And Savvy's trying to force things for Edinboro on those ladder spawns. Jeed inside top windows is going to be cut down as he clicks now towards P2. Not able to get any eyes on towards this hill, and Conestoga losing out on that initial time. They're able to battle back, and you can see Edinboro's not really in a good position to actually convert this rotation to P2.
Edinboro get just where they want to be for the moment. All four are going to go down. That's going to spawn you bottom right-hand side of the map. So working again through Grandma's house. It's going to be Oreo. Finding a few in a row on a 4 spree. Going to back off and reposition. Then top triple. Overlook here, and they don't want to give up these left-hand spawns. They want to keep them for P3. They want to just try to overlook, contest from the front where they can. Kill's still going their way. The only person in position is Yeed. Get a quick kill. Maybe get something going for his team, but once again, you're getting picked off. You're getting worked. You are not finding any kind of lanes to get out of spawn here.
Not at all. I mean, look at the spawns for Edinboro. So deep into the back of at Grandma's house. You see finally a break late for Edinboro. It's not going to really amass for any time because J-Ray, the next up to hop in towards this hill, slides out. Big cut down onto clicks and 14 seconds of scrap time that Conestoga are just going to look to push this lead. They have the better spawns. They have the setup, and I like this route out of Blitz, but it seems like Conestoga are going to be ready for this one.
Trying to wait, trying to creep around locker, and as you said, the slow play ends up costing Edinboro as they're still on the outside looking in early on. First 10 seconds go their way. 87-14 will be the lead. Shot being peppered. The reload comes in. The pressure as well from Spiral and locker side. You're going to find 1-for-1 trade. Continues to be a pinstripe kill feed. Numbers not enough for Edinboro. Is there yet to get a good break in.
This is the first time we see Frizzy actually lead the top triple in the last 90 seconds of the map, so he's looking to get active to see if he can cut off some of the rotations from Edinboro. Unfortunately, doesn't see anybody, and Edinboro break from the front. Frizzy now on the flank. Finds one, almost snaps to a second. Break inside, shut down. Chaos for 2. 4 in a row for this Edinboro player. Can he make it 5? He cannot, but off the respawn clicks. Looking to secure this scrap time, and it's a race to P4 to see if he can set up for this money hill.
Oreo, Neb, off to great starts for Condor Esports. On the other side of things, even, but nothing standing out for Edinboro. They are just trying to hold on, trying to chip away at this. It's a near 60 points they're down by, so if they can get into P4 quickly, they could really make this game close going into the second rotation, but you find another 4-down situation for Condor Esports. Now that lets you take up some space, lets you cut these players off spawn. Don't give them a free route towards time. This is a near ideal setup.
13-5 from Neb, 11-2 from Frizzy. It just seems like almost a mirror of our Series 1. Refuel just having their way in that slaying column. Another 2 kills. Frizzy looking for his 3rd there. As you can see, that Edinboro just have no ways to cleanly get towards the site. Clicks is going to be shut down towards the elevator side of this hill. Chaos might find Frizzy, but sliding in, there's 2 more players there to worry about. And look at this scoreline cash after 1 rotation. Conestoga are up 111 points.
And when we say rotations are everything, especially from P3 to P4, you never got a good look. You never got in if you were Edinboro, and you lose rotation as well. You have up a full 60, and now you're in a very lackluster position going into the new set of rotations, down over 100 points. Oreo through the back lines, comms aren't clean, no one able to turn around before the picks come in. 15-3. Doesn't even Frizzy as Clicks tries to get something going on the front side of things. That's a bold statement there. As he tries to make, maybe just trying to get himself flowing, feeling good in the game, but suddenly some kills go your way. Now we need some time to go their way as someone finally jumps on it. Even if they garner the rest, they'll still be down over 100 points. If Frizzy says you want to shoot bodies, well, I'll waste a couple things to your body as well.
Frizzy and Savvy, 28-9 combined.
Uh-oh.
Incredible stat line from themselves. The Hellstorm's not going to pay off. It's a team kill onto 2. Clicks with top triple control. Rotation to P2. Chaos is there for the initial time, but you need Clicks to stay alive, but he's going to be cleaned up by Neb, and you lose top triple. It's going to be the go time for Conestoga. Now, looking for a break to the second hill. Frizzy's going to find 2, finds 3, and Clicks goes down. So the break immediately from Conestoga to hop back into this P2. And Edinboro, we know how tough this was to break back in the first set of rotations.
And I think 2 went down at the hands of a team kill, and you just couldn't get to the spots you needed to stop this push. Like you said, Conestoga even gave up top triple just to sell out for this push. Neb now top mid. We're gonna find a fit. We're gonna take the player off of time. Back and forth we go. Even when the kill feed looks even for a moment, it seems like Conestoga are always getting the final word. As 170 to 86 is the score once again. You are just couple of hills away from closing this map one out. Everyone playing so well, and Edinboro really just haven't had an answer. And I mean, again, as we say, community protocol comes down to that left-hand side of the map. We have not, barring this moment, seen Edinboro spawn this side of the map, let alone hold it.
Looking to do better than Condors here. See if they can eclipse that 100-point marker. Cash Chaos just losing a fight you thought he had unlocked to Frizzy. Savvy from up top, hopping into the hill. The reinforcements for Conestoga from the front. Split spawns for Edinboro. So it's a fight from both sides. And Conestoga looking to push at least towards 1. See if they can flood and find some control. They do towards the back. And 2 down for Edinboro's going to make this one tough to break out. Blitz 5 HP though. Not able to beat out Neb. He's going to find 2. At least make it a little bit costly towards the end. But Conestoga actually spawn out. And Edinboro going to be able to break over that 100-point marker.
Well, Conestoga spawn out, and they know exactly what the play call needs to be. We're all going to hit zip. We're going to get control of P4. Savvy, or excuse me, J-Ray opens up with a couple. You gave up the setup. Sure, you need the time, but for Edinboro now, again, you put yourself down 80-ish points, close to 90. A 60 here would have done wonders, but you get out-rotated once again. Now it's a good luck, have fun as you are running in. Conestoga Irons, all 4 down. They can win it here. It is do or die.
Yeah, I don't see how you break this one if you're Edinboro. Last time they barely even got to touch the hill, let alone get time off of it. Conestoga able to win things here, and you look at that kill feed, it is just lighting up gold. Frizzy holding down that front door, 23-7. Savvy 19-8. Neb's 25-17. I mean, everybody's going big right now for Conestoga, and you're locking things down. Another Hellstorm. Neb's gonna lay one down. Frizzy's gonna use one. Savvy's winning his fights inside, and Conestoga wiped the floor in map 1. What is going on with these protocols? It is a one-sided affair throughout CCL today.
You either know how to play it or you don't. In these first couple of maps we've seen, it is evident who knows how they want to play it and get around the map. They ended, as far as Conestoga is concerned, on a 14-kill team spree. As we kind of saw toward the end, a massacre. Down low. I mean, Colin, you said it best. It's just, these protocols have not been competitive. We had high hopes going into it. Maybe a new series, maybe some new teams would shake things up. Simply not the case.
I mean, something's going on with these protocols, Cash. I don't know if it's in the water. I don't know if teams just, you know, you're not practicing this, but Conestoga just looked absolutely lights out. And it goes back to, you know, where we're just looking at teams just look so fundamentally sound at the top side of CCL, and Conestoga is going to be one of them. I mean, the rotations were on point. Even saw towards the end of that second set of rotations, you lost the break on P3. What do? They spawn grandmas, they drop elevator, they set up for the money hill. And both times on those P4s, it was pretty much a full 60. Edinboro just cannot let that happen. You just lose the rotations. You're a little bit slow to the roll, and it costs you in so many different ways. Like, just look at this graph. We get 2 rotations in a protocol. And you look at the first 3 to 4, 97 up to 154, 0 points from Edinboro. It's almost the same in the second P4. I mean, it's barely any time for Edinboro in those important hills. And Conestoga are just so lights out.
And it's just 2 full 60s. I mean, you can argue, right, that at times, looking at the rest of the graph, barring you take the P4 spikes out, relatively close. I mean, sure, you look at the discrepancy between P2 and P3, but you know, you got to think, Colin, if you don't give up 120 seconds between two hills, surely this plays a little closer. Those rotations were just off. A little more than that even. Conestoga knew how to play around it and find those kills. So essentially what Protocol feels like it boils down to at times, and talk about it really throughout the duration of the night, right? Can you punish a team for their mistakes? And especially on rotation, it's definitely a chance to do that on Protocol Hardpoint. Here we are in the blink of an eye, map 2 red card. We kind of talked about it at the pre-show that, hey, we're maybe a bit more excited for this one than some other maps in this series. And now that we shut the door on Protocol, we open it up here to an unorthodox map number 2.
Yeah, red card. A little showing up a little bit earlier than expected in the series, but hey, I'm not really worried about this one for Edinboro. I mean, there was a lot of fights, at least towards those P1, P2 rotations in the second set of hills for that Protocol, where you actually saw those ARs were winning some important battles. And red card, wide open map. Those ARs have a chance to really take those gunfights. It's just for Edinboro, can you take advantage of really I guess setting up in those power positions and making sure you're shutting down those SMGs like J-Ray when they're trying to hit those routes. You see a lot of players in red card try to overextend into situations like, you know, pushing through outside P5, trying to get in towards that garage off the defensive side. Just flanks on flanks. It's a big map, so it's easy to get lost. And if you're Edinboro, you really need to keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you're communicating to each other and not letting these players get in behind.
So much of it has come down to comms and making sure you're listening to comms. The calls could be coming in of, hey, where players are, what's going on. They just need to be accurate. They need to be composed. And again, they need to be correct as well. You have to be able to listen to one another and make sense of when things get hectic. And for Edinboro, that's going to be the case here on Search and Destroy. Where were players last seen? Where, you know, can we expect them to push after a handful of rounds go by? Like you said, this was their pick. So you got to think that they have something up their sleeve to be able to show us, to find a way to respond after going down map 1 for Conestoga. Again, we're not sure how comfortable they feel on this map, given that, hey, you know what, it's what we're playing. We're just going to have to put up and do our thing. You talked about how big the map was, how different routes, how different flanks can play a part, and again, flipping around on its head, essentially. So hopefully Edinboro, show us a little change of pace, show us a little flicker of life after that map 1, and again, how tough that one was to work through. Now they get a little bit of a reset. Now they get an opportunity to say, okay, this is what we're looking forward to. This is what we're going to bring.
It's just kind of finding yourself in this Search and Destroy. Hey, maybe Cash, Edinboro's just a red card team. They're Search and Destroy Reapers, and this map 2 is going to go a lot different than that map number 1. I mean, just look to our last series when both of us were counting out the Panthers, and they just turned it around, brought us to a round 11. Not only that, they were the first team to get to that 5th round as well. They had a chance to close it out. So, I mean, you kind of look at a lot of teams in Call of Duty in general, more often than not, players climb through the ladder, grinding Search and Destroy on GBs, on CMGs, whatever it's going to be. You get to leagues like this, and then you have to worry about those hardpoint rotations and everything that goes with these respawns. Search and Destroy, it just boils down to, can you win your battles? And for Edinboro, I'm hoping to see if they can put up some numbers.
Standard break off between the two teams. You're going to send majority numbers hedge side, work your picks with your AR, and go from there. Be opening up with the first blood for Edinboro. Very quick on the response, at least towards the inner portions of the map. And now, as you called, gonna hit a route, gonna try to flip this map through tunnel, through Esky side. Gonna try to sneak behind these players. As the bomb is working towards A, you've backed these players down for Conestoga. Now can you look to lay this bomb before the flank comes through?
J-Ray's in a great position. He's got all of the info. Bomb's not going down, but look at that from Blitz. He's got the read. J-Ray gets smoked. And that A site, it is wide open for that rock to get lied down. Now Jeep should get the timing towards the player up top. 3v1. Neb. Does he have the magic? 21 seconds. Bomb finally going down. And oh boy, I thought for a second he was going to be able to turn that around. But Edinboro do a great job at covering all their bases.
Like you said, it was a great read on the flank. Things were quiet for a little while. Maybe they had a head count approximately of who all they had seen. And at that late stage of the round, you got to figure someone's trying to do something tricky. They're aware of it. They find the kills they need to, and like you said, put that bomb down, even in the 3v1. Still making sure they take care of things. Open up with the first blood, open up with an early round, and now we'll see how Conestoga look to respond on offense.
Really curious to see where the setup too from Edinboro is going to be to at least see if they can maybe catch this offense with a quick A hit. Because that's what's going to happen. It's 3 players to see if they can deal with this. J-Ray has a route through mid. He's gone unchecked, and he's going to be up top and behind, and Jeeb's going to get shot in the back. So J-Ray, can he find 2? Of course he can. He's got a jackal in his hand, and that headshot, it hits hard. Clicks 1v3. Let's see if he can do what Neb could not. And he won't be able to do it. There we go. Condors answer back with an immediate offensive round.
Sometimes the obvious play is the most unchecked play. And what I mean by that is generally on a map, hey, no routes through mid. We're going to watch the flank. Or generally the call is, yeah, no routes through mid. Make sure we take care of that, and then we can check for the flanks. And because red card plays the way it does, like I said at the start, in round number 1, you send your numbers hedge side. That means at least 3 players are going to be looking, away from P1, away from the middle of the map, and you find the timing to slip through. Like you said, the jackal, short, medium, long distance, gets the job done. Conestoga answer back, and now offensively working towards the B side this time for Edinboro. Guns come out. No info given off that though.
No info, and seems like Edinboro looking to see if they can get a quick glance off. You see this flank coming through from Frizzy. It's being watched. Jeeb really get the timing there. Blitz going to be shot on the cross. Neb draws that first blood, and it's going to pull that flank player with a flank watch away, and Frizzy's going to have a chance to open things back up. 4 down immediately. And that is insane from Conestoga, just crumbling the offense.
Something for the pocket real quick. Nice little nade kill to close things out. At B is just such a tricky site to work because you have to get there quickly. But if the comms come through even quicker on the other side of things, as they did for Conestoga, the wrap back is quick. And with that push through ticket, it can be so tricky to find your way out of that situation. Condors Esports, 2 consecutive rounds. Back on the offense once again. They tried to work the A side the last time. Had a player work through mid also for a route, but it's going to be taken care of. It's going to be watched over by Edinboro. Now you need to work the first bloods again. You've lost them
for 3
straight rounds. J-Ray going to be letting them know here as well. Another breakdown coming in. Pick after pick after pick. You find one if your clicks. A lot of work to be done. The call is that he's mid. Mom's going to go down safe today.
And it seems like Conestoga, after losing that first round, it may have woken them up a bit. You woke the beast up, and now you're paying with it. Savvy gets beamed. Click's got some nice shots with the aims. 1 versus 2. He's got the jackal in his back pocket, too, so he's ready to tango. It's just time is going to be the issue, and he's got to kick things into pace pretty quickly because there's a lot of corners to check. Neb's going to be seen, but that's just going to give away Click's information. 12 seconds. He hasn't even found one of the 2 kills. J-Ray's doing 360s. Conestoga, they're having fun.
Yeah, 360s, body shots, second round in a row. J-Ray's giving him a little something extra. As you said, having a good time with it. Sick tricks, X Games type things we're seeing here on Red Card. As it's 3 straight rounds for Conestoga, and College just feels shade similar to this first series, almost cookie cutter in a way of once one of these teams gets going, the team that, again, may be favored coming into this one, it's just there's no looking back. I mean, between J-Ray and Neb, you are on a 7-team spree. Now you're flowing. Now you're playing with some aggression, some confidence, and it's slow out of Edinboro, and they are playing grouped up. They do not want to give isolated picks here.
Which is smart. I mean, you know that Conestoga have just been looking to dismantle you, and it happens again. First blood from J-Ray. That's bombed down. In ticket. Blix is going to be able to collect it, and you see that Blitz is actually going to be able to bring things back at least for 1 kill. Immediately, J-Ray finds his 6th in a row. Almost makes it 7, but it's Blitz now in a 1 versus 2. Two isolated gunfights, too. If you can get this read onto Neb, maybe you have a chance, but that bomb is down 40 seconds. And he's got no information where either of them are. Neb's going all the way up to the 3rd floor, too. I mean, this is red card. You're basically playing hide and seek at this moment.
And winning at that. The door busting opens. Gonna give some information to Blitz. He's gonna try to wrap through outer. But you get into no man's land. And as you said, being in top window, actually gonna opt to get this play, Neb. You said hide and seek. The slide comes in. The slide may be loud. Finds the first
16.
kill. 15 seconds, though. You have to get towards the A site. It is a foot race between Savvy, the clock, and Blitz.
He's got time. Savvy's going to be a little bit late to this. Through mid. Savvy should have a chance to get some eyes on. Fast bomb gets planted. Savvy misses the shots. And Blitz is going to get away. 1 versus 1. You got a chance to win this one, but Savvy's not going to let it go twice. The slide chow. 4 rounds for Conestoga. Up by 3 now in the search and destroy.
Whew. I was thinking that entire time. Surely not. And for Blitz, just maybe a little antsy. Maybe the count in his head thinking, all right, he could have just straight hopped it. I got to get away. But I just was even looking at the P2 pop-up, not sure exactly where Savvy had gone, so a free pick, a good read. And as you said, 4 straight for Conestoga. 3 straight rounds with the first blood. As they're looking to kind of put a bow on this one and run away with the series.
Edinboro, they need to put a stop to this one, Cash. I mean, they have their chances. They've had moments where they just look like they're beating Conestoga outright, and this is one of those times, first blood, but they lose the information through mid, and they've allowed 2 players to their 3rd story undetected. Blitz going to be shot in the back. And Conestoga, this 2v3, very, very doable. The only thing that's really playing against you is that bomb is down very deep over towards your side, and you have 2 members of Edinboro who should know this is down.
I love this spot. Out of chaos. Trying to pick a player, working a flank, and it's just not going to happen. Now the collapse can come in. J-Ray, like Groundhog Day, trying to wait for the peak, trying to catch the
Surely
timing.
not.
Colin. Surely not.
Surely not. He can't get away with this one. 28 seconds, J-Ray. Gonna have to grab this bomb. Both members trailing right behind him. And is he gonna bait them off the noise alone? You got Clicks is hitting the full rotation, but he's got no eyes on the middle. It looks like Edinboro do a great job at not taking the bait.
Gotta look both ways before crossing the street, plain and simple. J-Ray didn't have a single glance that way, even though he knew he was getting tailed from behind. Edinboro do a good job at getting eyes, maybe some trigger discipline there, and get a round win on the board. 4-2. A good spot to be in. Better, at least, than what a 5-1 would have been for them. So hopefully not a situation of too little too late. They can build on, I mean, again, they're getting bombed down, working around that information, and now making sure that they take care of the objective on the other side of things. And yeah, you get caught on a 4-man push through B, so those would be the quick comes in as well for Conestoga to make that right back.
First blood again for Edinboro. See if they can, you know, convert this into at least a one round difference. Cash. Does look like B is going to be the destination for this bomb. J-Ray has the information, but still see that Clicks is going to be on that late flank. Clicks is actually going to find Neb too. Blitz getting the better of J-Ray inside, and Savage is overwhelmed. I love that from Edinboro. Just a late hit from the middle of the map catches Neb off guard, and everybody else just sends it.
Pretty much how B works, right? It's like it feels like a Skyline A site where when all hell breaks loose, it's just a spray and pray. And as you said, Savvy gets overwhelmed. It's a beautiful flank pinch on the site towards the end of things. And you said, be a 1-round differential. That's exactly where we're looking now. Down 4-1, now sitting 3-4 Edinboro, getting things going for themselves. Back on the defensive side of things. Break off. Got someone watching over B. Got a couple players working towards mid and over to hedges. Maybe a page out of the Edinboro book. Leaning towards a B push potentially for Conestoga.
Stuns in. Chaos in a great position to catch a kill, but you gotta hit those shots. Bomb's gonna get laid, and now you're looking at a 2v3 from the outside in. Blitz, though, almost beats it out. He's gonna stop the bomb from going down, and there's the trade, though. 1 versus 2. 47 seconds.
If you can pull this off. You right all of the wrongs of the missed shots from earlier, but I've got to figure out where these players are pushing from. You're not going to catch good timing. The chase going to come in. The shimmy not going to be enough. It feels like a moment in that round, Colin, where next practice you go to, coach is making you shoot 500 free throws. You won't be missing those shots again. As a couple get away from them there. End up losing the round, though they took the first blood. That's the second round where they've gotten the first blood and lost it. Conestoga has yet to make that mistake. It's where you started them out to come back. Conestoga put themselves on map point. Just needing one more. You've run out of room for error if you're Edinboro. It's got to stick.
You know, Conestoga very sharp in search and destroy. Not looking to let this one slip. You're in the round, Jay. Right, first blood. Can he get away? I can't believe he's still alive. He gets out a ticket with his life. That's 2 kills to boom. Make it 3. Frizzy's going to turn this into a 1v4. And it clicks to do the impossible. Conestoga putting Edinboro in the dirt here in map number 2. 6-3 on red card. 2-0. They go in the series.
Too little, too late. What we thought could be the case in the search and destroy. When it rained, it poured. For the side of Conestoga, they were able to just make the lives of Edinboro miserable whenever they found those kills in a flurry. As Oreo McFrizzy has a big final round to close things out. 2-0, as you said, is the series count. Find ourselves on another vault control, and well, it's fun when you can kind of like compare and contrast from the first series of the night to the second. But Colin, it's about the same song and dance that we're seeing here. Respawn's shaky for Edinboro. The search and destroy had its moments, had its flickers where maybe they could, you know, take control, take the reins of map 2. And here we go back to a respawn that, again, you hope to be more competitive than the rest of the series thus far, but not only do you have the control, you have the hard point, and you have another search and destroy to take. So Vault's going to be where we set our sights to next. And does Edinboro have anything in the tank that they can show us to maybe see if they can get back in the series?
And red card's just one of those maps too. I mean, even for Edinboro, who is, you know, doing well and fighting those first bloods and actually catching Conestoga on some of the rotations, making them at least pay for those mistakes. It's just, there's so many angles and so many routes that these Conestoga players can get lost on, and you know that they like to play fast. They're going to try to get mixy, and you can see that there's just times where Edinboro couldn't keep up with those subs, and even in those AR battles, there were so many times where I saw Conestoga just trying to flip the map right off the get-go, and I think that they just have a little bit more depth when it came down to those moments. So I think for Edinboro, you're digging deep right now into this map number 3 to see if you can maybe push it to a map 4, maybe start this reverse sweep, but it's going to be a lot to change heading into this respawn, folks. We're going to head to a break, get things set up for this map 3. We'll be back with more College COD. Welcome back, everybody, to the action here for your Monday night College COD coverage. My name is Seymour, with me, Cash with me. We've been covering these matches, and they've been one-sided affairs, I will say. I mean, it has been just completely smoke shows from Fanshawe and Conestoga so far in their series. We got Edinboro heading into a vault control now. What can you kind of take away from our first series heading into the second one that you might be looking at if you're Edinboro against Conestoga?
I think it's just who's really well repped and who might still be figuring things out. And, you know, we kind of talk about, at least on the Edinboro side of things, right? Oh man, they just seem ill prepared. They seem, you know, like just all around not slaying well and various things like that. And for Conestoga, you think the complete opposite, of course. Man, this team looks great and they've got everything figured out and what they want to do is exactly what they're doing. But even this early on, we kind of talked in the pre-show, you have time to make mistakes, and maybe some teams here are trying things out early and then maybe getting looks at different maps. I'm not saying they're treating it scrim like at all, but sometimes you might want to throw something early and say, hey, let's just try out this map. We know what we're good at. Let's just try out a red card search and see how it goes for us. So that could very well be the case, right? We're not in the camp. We don't exactly hear all of the communication behind closed doors. Regardless, as far as pure guns go, as we can see, it's looking very one-sided, as you said, and coming into the previous series into this one team definitely feels more comfortable in this given series than the other, and whether it be trying new things, whether it be just simply getting outmatched at every turn. For Conestoga, you're still feeling great. We talked about how good of a team they are, being on the rise coming into this Edinboro. We kind of didn't have a benchmark for them. You called it a litmus test, and I don't want to say they're failing per se, but they're definitely kind of getting a reality check of what this upper echelon of teams, B, A tier teams kind of can give them for a run.
Yeah, it's just kind of what you have to work on going into the rest of the season, especially if you lose here against Conestoga. But I mean, for Edinboro, you still got 3 maps to go. And you start here in the Vault Control. I mean, you look back to, map number 1, what was your biggest issue? And it was the AR presence on that protocol. Vault doesn't have as much of an issue like that. Maybe when you're attacking over towards that B zone for sure. But in this map in particular, I mean, your subs can get very hot in this map, and there is a lot of routes to run there for your subs. And for Edinboro, I'm kind of looking forward to them trying to pick up the pace than what we saw on protocol, where they were falling behind in a lot of those rotations. But the one biggest thing I'd say that Edinboro have to focus on is making sure that they don't allow Conestoga to run routes on them, because then you're kind of facing what Condors was facing in their series, and that was just a spawn trap for the majority of this Vault Control. So you're trying to make sure that you can at least fight out of your spawns, make sure you're tracking these players, and if you're spawning out, you're covering your own spawn, make sure that you're finding those kills and working your way out to one of those zones, because if not, things can get out of hand really fast with this. Edinboro went for the ban on Hacienda. It was a protocol ban from Conestoga, so we get set with Vault. I'm just hoping that Edinboro, a little bit of practice here, can kind of make something out of it.
Hope to see something good, something positive for them, as we find ourselves in another situation where a reverse sweep is going to be asked of one of these teams, and it's going to be at the hands of Vault Control. You talked about everything really well. What needs to happen for Edinboro to walk away with a map win here? And again, we talk a lot about, the team that's in the deficit, the team that's the underdog, what all they need to do, and, rectifying their mistakes. For Conestoga, but at one, I'll say it again, keep doing your thing, keep pushing the pace. Talk about AR presence, you talk about sub presence. They have it all at the moment. Offensively, defensively, they're going to play with speed, play with confidence, and the kill feed already reflecting that as they're out and about playing loose.
You even see that from J-Ray. Patience from the subs. They back up. They clear B, now taking control of Catwalk into the base of Edinboro. J-Ray ready to catch some of these respawning players over towards ammo. Edinboro will find themselves. They have at least a route over towards B. Hop on the zone. Time is stopped, but he's going to be watching the flank because it's J-Ray again. Looking to run some routes here. Click's going to pick up that kill. You got the stack now over towards B. You find this one, and suddenly a little bit of trouble for Conestoga. They've let the monsters in.
Quick stack. Third tick of progress already being worked, and Edinboro, not only with, what was a 1 life advantage, and quickly nullifying that, still adds another minute to the clock, a minute and 50 to work with. Lives tied. They're sitting in about as good a position as you'd want offensively. Now if they can just opt to make the decision, do we play a little TDM here for a second? Do we try to back these spawns up? As you know, Savvy, as you know, J-Ray are going to try to make the spawns hectic for you. Lex picks up a couple, doing fantastic job, as you said, clearing out home base, making sure no one's running any more tricky routes. All eyes are set forward. The kills need to start falling their way as you get a quick trade, but Oreo picking up where he left off at the end of that search and destroy, shooting nukes.
Chaos just absolutely nuked J-Ray in the catwalk. Unfortunately for that, still there's Condors in your base, and you got to turn around. Big pickup there from Clicks. A couple more from Edinboro, and a route to A is opened up. Time stopped at a minute 14. J-Ray's going to at least slow this pressure down on A. Takes one member off, but where you find one kill right now, if you're Edinboro, there's at least 2 more Condors right around the corner. So with a minute 9, Ives only down by 2. If you're Edinboro, gotta see them slow down. They're giving up a lot of these kills where that B hit, it was clinical.
It's tricky because you start to get frantic. Lives, time running out. You can start to solo push, and as you said, they have to slow things down and play as a team because these last few gunfights, it's just been 1v1s, 1v1s, isolated. Fights for Conestoga is taking. Now completely pinned on B Street. That does you no good, given that you have to work into A. Nev gonna cut off P3 door, gonna be able to find what I thought was one, and does. The trade comes in quickly though, and Cliff's gonna try to press forward, slow these players down, pushing from Lion. Simply put, they don't have the numbers to continue working towards the site. You have to play your life as long as possible if you're blitz. Make sure you don't give up your position. Buy time for your team, but again, with no response remaining, with no lives left, last man standing. Simply put, you gave up too many lives in the mid portion of that, and a team like Conestoga is going to put you down for it every time.
I think Conestoga just came out a little too hot. It was a heads-up play from Edinboro to recognize that the B side of the map was wide open, and a couple kills go their way. They catch the flank. That was J-Ray, and taking that B zone early is not something we normally see in that kind of characteristic. That's not like a break off through the middle hole down towards Vault and onto B. To play out of your spawn and get B like that is very uncharacteristic for at least a Vault control. But, you know, props to Edinboro for making it happen. It's just, you know, again, it's just adaptations from Conestoga where they just fight through the middle of the map, win their fights. You see the subs get hot. It's really hard to slow them down, Cash.
It definitely is. 4 ticks of progress, though. Nothing to look down on if you're Edinboro. They got the ticks early, like you said, the unorthodox push, and now with a chance defensively to put themselves in a good position to mitigate what Conestoga can do, but mitigation going to be tricky as mid-map control. It's all Conestoga to start, clear out as the subs are starting to feel good for Edinboro. Now you have to take up space. That's kind of the name of the game for Vault. Can you get numbers across that 50-yard line of the map? Well, J-Ray playing right at the goal line, able to shut down some of these players, but you take care of it quickly. You more in your face, though. You need to continue playing patient and working these kills. And just like that, Chaos the only one there.
You're seeing the communication here from Edinboro to actually like clean up their spawn. They're making sure that players don't go unchecked on these routes. And they're just spending a lot of time making sure that they do find these kills. So second segment in A is going to be at least collected there. Savvy still in P4. Draining away on these lives. A is going to be collected in full. And it looks like Clicks is going to take it upon himself to fully wrap the map himself. See if he can flip out this B side and see if he can at least take some presence off of B. If the stack is here, Clicks goes down. There's 3 on B, and now this is trouble for Edinboro because Frizzy's on the flank and nobody's going to be ready for this. Shots in the back. Players into contest, but Frizzy's going to be able to clean up a couple of them. Edinboro stay alive, but just barely.
They drained the progress. It was map flip on flanks on flanks. At the end of the day, you're at least able to slow things down, bring things back to, well, as close to neutral as you can. You're down 8 lives. You have presence once again. All it is dip, dodge, duck, dive towards this B site. Play the trade, have your players top art look over you, and that's what they're doing. Taking off these players once again. Does Conestoga slow things down? Do they try to work numbers to finish out this round? You still have 70 seconds left. You are up 6 lives. You can't throw away this opportunity as Oreo opens up with 1.
You definitely play a little bit of CDM here. If you're Conestoga, blitz on the flank. Can he be the hero? No. J-Ray wins the fight. Nebs up top art. And even with the Jackal, he's making it look so crisp at range. Stack on B. 3rd segment's collected. And it's down to tiers as well. Not even kills. So you get 6 if you're Conestoga and an offensive round win. You're winning not only in the objective, but in the series. So you're feeling good right now for the Condors.
Feeling great. Looking great as well. It hasn't been, of course, the most squeaky clean, the best executed game out of them, or series at that. But where this team does shine, it is when they are flowing off of one another, playing off of each other's comms, and again, letting themselves kind of play loose on the map. They're not a team that looks to play off of rigid setups or holding irons too often. It's how can we get our players in the face of the other team and make things hell for them. As quickly you see Oreo look to try to get the spawn side of things. J-Ray gonna get cut down too, so Edinboro making some good reach, finding some good kills, but Neb, of course, gonna end up finding one of those 50-50 gunfights.
There's always that one player.
Spread. Absolutely.
That sneaks in behind. It's Neb this time, just creating so much distraction, running the clock, and keeping Edinboro busy. He's still finding kills too, so it's another 3 down for Edinboro. They're going to be spawning over towards not P2, but with seeing McFrizzy over on that P2 side, they're actually spawning close towards ammo, so Neb's got a lot of work to do here. I hope he was one shot, because if not, he just got burned. Neb's on 8 in a row. He's having his way in the spawn of Edinboro, and nobody's getting out. That time is running down, and Cash, this is over, it seems.
Yeah, I'm hitting a quick ult F4. I'm going to keep it a buck. That spawn trap was vile. Out of Conestoga, as now a couple players get loose, but quickly on the hunt, they're able to send them right back to the respawn block. 10 seconds remaining. Absolutely farming the lives. Up 17 of them. What a statement to make to close out this series, as J-Ray will line up a couple. And if he was still alive, he definitely would have shot some bodies.
That's the Conestoga you expect coming into this division. It is a 3-0 sweep on their first game of week number 2. They make it look clean on the vault control protocol. Quite the same. A little bit sketchy in some of the red card rounds, but you bounce immediately back in these respawns. And like I said, this is kind of what you expect from a team of this caliber, just not letting off the gas the entirety of this series. Even looking at, some of the stats might not be showing there, but it's just the idea of like watching that. It was suffocating. Even just watching that from our side, and you look at the setup that you had from Conestoga towards the end on their defense. You have a player P2 who was finding kills. You had a player inside ammo who was finding kills. Where do you go? If you're Edinboro, I mean, you're trying to battle out of your spawn, but you can't kill them. Neb's having his way there, and you just cannot shut it down.
Yeah, it's just tough. It is, and Control can be known for that. It falls not perfectly into their lap, right, because they make that happen, but I mean, that spawn trap, as you said, it is hard to watch happen because there are so many different ways you're just getting picked by players holding irons. It was a tough series for them. It had its moments that went their way, but the majority of them didn't. And so for that, they lose 3-0. Conestoga continue to kind of work their way up the ladder, up the rankings here in the CCL, as a 3-0 is going to bode very well for them in the eyes of really the rest of the teams watching, the rest of the teams they have faced up until this divisional break. It was dominant across all the score lines. It does kind of tell the stories of the series. I know we see these score lines and think sometimes, oh, it played closer than what a 3-0 on Control shows. But yeah, it was dominant from start to finish, Colin. And
it was.
The better team won, plain and simple.
Better team won in the series. Conestoga, they're going to elevate into 3-0 in their standings so far. Flawless through CCL 2025. Edinboro down to 1-2. After this series, so a little bit of a turnaround is what they're going to be looking for to close out week 2, see if they can stay even in the division. Cash, I mean, 2 series, 2 3-0s, and neither one of them really that close. Cash, you and I, we got a quick day going on between the two of us.
Yeah, DoorDash is what we've been liking to call it. And again, not much time wasted here between these teams. Early on, you can kind of expect this given some of the landslide matchups of these squads that are favored in these early weeks. So again, nothing out of the norm. Both teams with a lot they can work on going into either tomorrow's matches or even the continued weeks of the CCL. So again, it's a learning stage for a lot of these newer faces coming into the league, and a lot of growth they can make. I think the teams we saw tonight still have higher ceilings. I don't think any of them are plateaued or this is the best we'll see them. These teams will rebound and they'll bounce back. Like you said, Edinboro's going to try to finish 2-2 on the week. So a lot of good signs for these teams. I'm excited to see the work they put in and how they continue to progress.
Yeah, you and I both. But that's not going to be done for tonight, Cash. You and I might be stepping away, but We got another match going on. It's USI versus Adrian Sassano and Vaudeville to take you through that series, folks. Stay tuned for some more College God. We'll see you after this break.